Hi, I'm Adriana Wright here with Freddie Emil, who plays Otis in the play Minorityland, and today we're here to get some information about it. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you for asking. How are you?
Good. What is the play about?
So Minorityland is a play about gentrification happening in North Philadelphia, and it dives into all the different intersectionality that happens with gentrification, the good, the bad, reasons why, and just how the community feels about it. There's a bunch of different sides that come up. Again, as I mentioned, there's some characters who are like, change is good, and then others not so happy with the change. But then it's like, what kind of change do we need in the neighborhood to benefit us? So it just goes back and forth on all that.
Okay. And then I know you play Otis in the play, so what is his story? Like, what is that character? What's his goal?
Otis is a high school teenager dealing with the struggles. He lost his parents when he was about 12, and he was raised by his sister and the mother of the block, who is Mama Julia. Mama Julia is one of the elders on the block who takes in the community, raises them as her own, feeds them, makes sure they know that they're loved and have support. So Otis grew up with that being his family, like his foundation, with the culture of the neighborhood being loud music and block parties, corner stores, and like everything that is that culture. So throughout the play, we see Otis struggling to adapt to the new changes happening in the neighborhood, which is a bunch of old buildings that housed a bunch of people who weren't doing the best, low economic status and things like that, start to be bought out of their homes so that a university can expand student housing. And it's his take and what he sees on the shifts, a bunch of people that he knew and loved growing up moving away, so everything that his world essentially starts to fall apart.
Okay. And you sort of mentioned this before, but where does the story take place?
North Philadelphia.
Okay. And how did this production begin? Like, where did it start?
If I'm not mistaken, the production began, it originated 6 to 7 years ago. And Erlina Ortiz and Gabriela Sanchez were students at Temple. Erlina is the playwright. Gabi is the founder of Power Street Theater. And her and Erlina met up, and Gabi had an idea. I believe she started a spoken word piece that she had written. And from there, I think they got a bunch of actors and started devising a bunch of scenes about the change happening. And from there, a lot of the characters that are in the show today were created. And Erlina was able to write the first draft of Minorityland. And then from there, now 6 to 7 years later, they wanted to revamp it. So Minorityland is actually the first show that Power Street has ever done. So revamping it is a really big deal because it means so much to them and to the community. So.
And how does this play mirror actual events like happening in Philly?
Okay, so the neighborhood that the play is based on it's going through gentrification right now. I grew up in the neighborhood. I'm from the neighborhood. I went to elementary school, middle school in the neighborhood. And myself just walking there today to do the show, it's really apparent the change that has occurred. A bunch of new buildings being put up, old buildings being knocked down, like the property taxes on everyone's houses are going up, and a lot of people are having to move out now for a new group of people to move in.
Okay. And how do you think the play has been received?
From what I could tell, the audience, they love him. Every show that we've done has had that each audience has connected to different things being said, and just feeling their energy and taking in everything that we're putting out is just amazing. After every show, most likely, like we've been getting standing ovations after every show. There are days that people clapped after every scene that was done. Usually it's, you do the first part, intermission, there's people clapping, at the end people clap. But to be a part of a production where the love is so real and the words and the messages are being so felt, to have a group of people just clap after everything, it really means a lot.
Okay, and then you kind of touched on this in your last question, but I just want to reinforce it. So what does it feel like being up on that stage and like hearing those people clap for you?
It's amazing. It's overwhelming at times, the amount of love that can be just poured in by others. And especially for me being from the neighborhood, because after the end of every show, I always see someone I grew up with, people I haven't seen in like 5 to 6 years, who understand what's happening. And for some people, it's their first chance to see theater, and to have their first experience seeing theater, like having the play be about something that they actually know. You know, it gets emotional. We had an older gentleman, I believe who maybe in the 60s, who said that he is from the Dominican Republic, his wife is from Puerto Rico, and they were in the neighborhood years back before any changes started to happen. And they saw a bunch of people grow up, they knew a bunch of Mama Julias, they know a bunch of characters in the play from their own lives, from their own families. And he shared that seeing something like this, it really means a lot, because it's the first time he's ever seen his story being told on this level.
Okay, that's really interesting. How long is the play?
The play runs for about 2 hours and 15 minutes with a 10-minute intermission.
Okay, and it's playing at the Theater Horizon, correct?
Yes.
And where's that located?
It's by the courthouse.
Okay. What website can we buy tickets, and how much are tickets?
I believe tickets are $2 for
Okay.
residents of Norristown, and you can find that on Theater Horizon's website.
Okay, and how did you decide that acting was for you?
Oh, so so I've been acting for about 5 years, and I've been performing since I was younger, dancing in quinceañeras and on the Puerto Rican Day Parade for TV and things like that. But my senior year of high school, I had a teacher, her name is Anissa Weinrod, and she came into my high school and she taught English, social science, and drama, and it was the first time I was ever put in a space where drama was an option. So halfway through the year, my family that I was staying with told me that I didn't have to go to college, but I had to have an idea of what I wanted to do when I graduated. And so halfway through the year, I told my aunt, who I was staying with, that I'm like, you know, I want to perform. I feel like I want to perform. I love being on stage. I love connecting with people in that respect. But they're not letting me switch in. And she came to my school during my lunch period, and by the end of it, I was in my first drama class, and it was life-changing. From there, I did a Shakespeare competition at school, and then I placed in another round, and I didn't win anything, but it was the first time, because I'm very competitive, that I felt like amazing with, like, I was so happy with the work that I had done, making it where I had made it. And I had people come up to me like, hey, that was awesome. Like, please don't stop doing what you're doing. So I went to college for it, and I graduated in 2018, and I've just been falling in love with the art every day since.
Okay. What would you say the biggest challenge of being an actor is?
I would say the biggest thing for me is confronting myself, being honest with myself, to be able to genuinely listen to other people on stage, to take in their energies, to take in the words, and to just be present and let that affect me, and to just let the story come out of me however the story wishes to come out. Yeah, like plays like this also open a lot of doors from the past. So it's revisiting a lot of things that I haven't thought about, and just like thinking about it through a new perspective on like how that shaped me, why did it affect me the way that it did, and in what ways can I use that to make my art more powerful.
Okay. And what advice would you give someone who is interested in taking a similar path or the same path as yours?
I would say do it. Theater is a beautiful craft that teaches you to love yourself, to love others, to love the world. It opens up your mind, shows you different perspectives, as long as you're open to that change and open to that honesty and the world that it's about to create within you.
Okay. And then when is the play? Like, what dates is it going on?
I believe we go to Theater Horizon this week to Tech, and we open on Friday the 11th, and we go into the 13th.
Okay. And what time does it start?
Friday's show, I believe, is at 8 p.m. Saturday, I know we have an 8 o'clock show, and then we have another matinee, I believe, Sunday as well.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I would say if you get a chance, please come see the show. It means a lot to the theater company, to Power Street. But I would just say, being a person who's a part of any community, it's a chance to feel something, to see life through another lens, to learn a little something about the world and our interactions and change. And I think that anyone, no matter what, regardless of where you're from, what path you've chosen in life, you can take something away from this play.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, if you're not doing anything this weekend, please head out to Theater Horizon. The tickets are only $2. The show comes this Friday as well as this Saturday. Once again, I'm Adriana Wright. I talked to Freddie Emile about Minorityland. Back to our host.